I welcome Dr. Christophe Dumas, and we will speak about what is life force and prana energy. What has life force to do with DNA? How can we change life force in cells by our thought and emotion? How are we and other emitters like microwave or Wi-Fi changing the DNA of cells? How can food, COVID-19 virus, and vaccines change our DNA? So Dr. Christophe Dumas is a researcher at the CEA Atomic and Alternative Energy Commission in France and director of the Global Energy Research Center. He's an energy specialist who has worked on nuclear power plants and alternative energies at CEA Cadarache. He is a member of the Global Energy Parliament since 2012, and together with H.H. Swami Isa, he published numerous articles in professional journals on the I-Theorie. The I-Theorie is considered the science of energy and a unifying theory that can be applied in any field of science. So, welcome, Dr. Christophe Dumas.
Thank you, Dirk. I'm really happy to join you and
Christophe,
this nice conference.
Yes, I know a little bit about the I-Theorie from you. Thank you very much for giving me a deeper insight, and it is fantastic. It's a revolutionary theory, and I think it's not only about energy for the industries, but it is also explaining how this is matching with quantum physics and how it is matching with the Indian philosophy about prana energy, and so integrating all this knowledge. And maybe you can tell us what is life force and prana energy?
Yes, thank you for this question, very interesting question. Yes, as you said, we are not focused on energy, just like producing electricity for a power plant or something like that. Actually, as Einstein said, everything is energy because matter is energy. And we are focusing on this point of view about the energy. So I will share some slide.
Yes.
So first, we need to understand what the human being is, if you want to understand what life is. As everybody knows, organism is made of organ system, and tissue, and cell, and nucleus, and chromosome, and DNA. So, as we said, actually, everybody knows that we are made of molecules, and this is what we are actually calling the gross body. But the molecules are also made of subtle particles, which is atom and subatomic particle, and elementary particle, and also Higgs boson, this is what we are calling A1 particle in I-Theorie. And also, all these elementary particles are made of quanta of energy. For example, if you look about one electron orbiting around the nucleus, if it gets one quanta of energy from a photon, for example, its energy is increasing, and it will go on to the next orbit.
So let me shortly, Christophe, say in this picture at 6 o'clock downstairs, there's the organism. That is a human being, for example.
Yes. Yes, this is the organism. The organism is made of organ system. The organ system are made of organ. The organ are made of tissue. Tissue are made of cells. Cells are made of nucleus. Nucleus are made of chromosome and DNA, and so on, until the molecule, the basic molecules.
Yes. And so until from the organism to the molecules, we are saying it is a gross body, and then comes subtle energy, subtle body.
Yes. Most of the people are not aware that we are made of quanta of energy and elementary particle. They just focus about the gross body, and I am made of water. Okay, I am made of water. This is commonly accepted by the people. But if we can go deeply, actually, we can say that we are made of quanta of energy.
Yeah.
And in the I-Theorie, we are introducing another part, which is the causal body. And because what we are claiming is the quanta of energy are made of hypothetical particles, which are called I-particle. And this is the basic unit of energy. And if you want to understand what are quanta, you need to understand the basic unit of quanta, which is I-particle. And the I-particle actually are made of three matter, which are three fields of energy. We are calling that white matter, red matter, and black matter. But I will explain much more deeper after.
Yeah.
And in the I-Theorie, we already published many articles about that in peer-reviewed journal. And we are able to calculate the mass of all elementary particles related to the data, or to the CERN data. And for now, for example, the commonly accepted quantum physics are not able to calculate that.
Oh.
They can measure that. They can say that an electron is 0.5 mega electron volt, but they don't know why it is 0.5 and not 0.4 or 0.6. But with the I-Theorie, we can calculate every mass of every single elementary particle.
Well, so we are at the moment, the quantum, maybe you can show what is the knowledge at the moment of quantum physics they have in CERN or otherwise?
But for now, they know that all the elementary particles are boson or lepton, or different category of particles. They know that they can have different energy because the particle can be in movement, so they can have kinetic energy, and they can have also potential energy when they are not moving. So they know everything about that, but they don't know about what the quanta of energy are made of.
And we are at the A1 particle at the moment, or at the...
Yes, A1 and also quanta, because all the quantum physics, quantum computer are using quanta of energy. So they know to the subtle body.
So the Higgs boson is compared to what?
Higgs boson actually is A1 particle.
Is the A1, okay.
Is
And they are searching for, they are always crashing those elements to find out where is the smaller particle, and sometimes it's there and sometimes not. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the status, the present status of the physics. But what we are interested today is what makes a human being or another living being, what makes him living or death.
Yeah.
So when we are death, yes, all the molecules are still there, decaying slowly, but they are still there. When people are dying, the gross body is still there. But the gross body is not moving, and there is no chemical reaction inside. So the point is, what is the energy which vibrates the body, which makes him working, producing hormone, polypeptide inside the body. And we want to know that.
Yeah.
One very important point is that when someone is dying, there is no more thoughts. So you can see the electroencephalogram flat, or the heartbeat flat. There is no more vibration. Okay? So what we want to analyze is, first, when I'm talking to you about thought, you say, oh yes, thought is in the brain. The brain is thinking about that. For now, neuroscientists say, okay, we can assess the activity of the brain using electroencephalogram. Electroencephalogram is no more than assessing the electrical activity of the brain. So, for example, here there is a picture, and we can see the frequency of the electrical waves in the brain. There is also another way for assessing the thought, and this is the functional magnetic resonance imaging. So for that, we can scan the brain and assess the magnetic activity inside the brain. And we can locate which part of the brain is activated or not regarding the stimuli we can have or the thought we can have. So it means that the thought has two components. One is electrical and second is magnetic. And I will explain a bit more about that later. But this is a very important point.
Yes.
The second point is what I wanted to say is that actually.
So just to say, when people are dead, there is no electric field anymore. So we know, okay, it has something to do with that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it is not like when we have a TV set, and if the TV set, if there's no picture, there's still a program running, yeah? So we cannot say there's no program. There is still a program, but there's no receiver anymore, yeah?
Yes, yes, totally. So I wanted to explain you about one experiment about one unicellular organism. So it means only one cell, not brain. And this unicellular organism is called Fusarium polycephalium, and commonly it is called blob. So in this picture, in picture A, so there is a labyrinth, and there is some food inside the whole labyrinth. And the unicellular organism is developing, just like a mushroom, developing everywhere, eating the food. And after some times, when there is no more food, this organism is receding. But after some time, if we put the food at the entry and at the exit of the labyrinth, this organism is developing regarding the shortest path of the labyrinth.
Okay.
And it is very interesting because actually it is just like if this organism first map the labyrinth, and then he has this information about the labyrinth. And after, he's processing this information for solving where is the food and where he can find the food. So actually, it is just like if this organism have a thought.
This is learning, yeah.
Yes, it's learning, and an emotion because he wants to process, to have food.
Yep.
So you have also an emotion. But the point is, as I said, this organism has no brain. So
this makes the difference to some other people that have a brain, but they don't use it, and then they don't learn. Yeah.
Yes, sometimes we are not learning at all. So regarding that, we can say that maybe we have to improve our concept of thought. And thought are not only in the brain, but maybe thoughts are in the brain and something else somewhere.
Yeah.
So as I said, the quality of the brain, the quality of the thought has two parts. One is electrical and second is magnetic. So maybe we can try to understand if the electromagnetic field has something to do with the thought and with the emotion. So in this next slide, so I will introduce very briefly about the I-Theorie. So actually in the I-Theorie, I said that the I particle creates three energy fields. So this three energy field is black matter, red matter, and white matter. So every single I particle has these three matter, and the assembly of that creates a field of the three quality of the field.
So just shortly, the I particle is the smallest particle that's existing, and everything behind that. So a quantum is existing of milliards of billions of I particle. Yeah.
Yes, totally. The basic quanta of energy is the I particle, and when the I particle are assembly, it creates quanta of energy.
Okay.
This is the packets. Quanta means packets.
Yeah.
Okay. So these three quality of the vibration. First, there is the black matter, and what is differency? The three quality is the frequency. When it is high frequency, it is called black matter. Middle frequency is red matter, and low frequency it is white matter. Actually, in the field of energy, the red matter is the gravitational field. And when the gravitational field has some modification, it creates a magnetic field and an electrical field. And this is a very important point because, for example, in quantum physics, we can say that there is some fluctuation in the quantum gravity field, and it creates photon. And it is commonly accepted that. And photon is electromagnetic wave. So this is why we are saying that actually the electrical field is the white matter and the magnetic field is the black matter. So when the frequency of the gravitational field is increasing, it becomes magnetic, and when the frequency is decreasing, it becomes electrical field. In the I-Theory, so I will not go too deeper inside the detail, but in I-Theory, the electrical field or the white matter is called the information. And the black matter is the emotion, and the thought is the gravitational field, is the red matter.
So the black energy is like zzz, and the white is like white, and red is in the middle frequency. Okay.
Yes, totally. So how it works, for example, the electrical field, when your intellect is thinking, the electrical field is the data. When you are thinking, actually, you are processing the data. So I take one part of this data and this part of the data and assembly, and it makes something else.
Oh, we spoke about cars. Yeah.
Sorry?
We spoke about cars. Yeah.
Yes. So it means that the electrical particles are moving during the intellect process. When it's moving, when an electrical charge is moving, it creates magnetic field. So this is, for example, when you have one coil and when you put some current inside, it creates magnetic field because the movement of the electrical charge creates magnetic field. Okay, so this is all the transformers are working like that. The second point is when there is a variation inside the magnetic field, it creates electrical charge. So this is, for example, the alternator. When we have one motor, the magnets are rotating, and the movement of the magnet creates electricity. Okay, so this is why actually a thought creates an emotion, and an emotion creates a thought. For example, I am in the street and I see a beautiful car. The information is a car. Okay? And I see this car, I say, oh, this car is beautiful. This is emotion.
Mhm.
Oh, my car now is very old. This is new data, new information,
Mhm.
new thought.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe I need to change my car. This is new emotion.
Mhm.
And it's going on like that. So the thought creates emotion, emotion creates the thought, and it is
Mhm.
endless.
It's a circle, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So now the point is how the thoughts and the emotion are dealing with the body and with the organism.
Mhm.
And as I said, if the thought has one electrical field and one magnetic field.
Mhm.
Electromagnetic field means light, means photon. So the point is, how the light or the electromagnetic field interacts with the body.
Mhm.
Actually, we can see just like if the electromagnetic wave, it is a wave, so it contains some information. So it is just like the software of a
Mhm.
computer.
Mhm.
But the software needs a hardware for running.
Yeah. Mhm.
So the question is, what is the hardware? Because
Mhm.
if we have thoughts, we need something for processing the thoughts.
Yeah.
There is a very interesting field of research and called the biophotons. Actually, it has been demonstrated that the DNA emits some light, and this light is a very weak light and very accurate light on specific frequency, and it is just like laser light.
Mhm.
And this is called biophotons.
Mhm.
For example, this is the biophoton in algae. So this is the algae. When you switch off the light and you have a very accurate detector, you can see the light emitted by the cell.
Mhm.
And actually, it is by the DNA. It has been proved that it is by the DNA.
So the DNA is emitting biophotons.
Yes, the DNA is emitting light.
Okay. Mhm.
And it has been proved that this light, these biophotons, is the way of communicating between cells. When cells wants to send information to another cells,
Mhm.
it emits some biophotons, very specific biophotons.
Okay.
Biophoton can be emitted and
Mhm.
also received.
Oh. Mhm. Okay.
So actually, the biophoton is the media of the communication between the DNA of the cell.
Mhm. Mhm.
What is also
So
very
let me ask,
yes,
biophotons, they can also, this is a faster information than by the chemistry of synapses, as we at the moment in older schools, yeah, they are saying, okay, there's something synapses that is transporting and receiving, and then it's a chain.
yeah,
So
yeah,
biophotons are faster, yeah.
yes. It has been shown that in the brain also the neurons emit biophotons,
Mhm.
and it's also emits in a very faster way than the electrical current in the synapse.
Mhm. Okay. Mhm.
And and actually, um, when the software fits with the hardware, it means that when the light can be received correctly by the DNA or can be emitted correctly by the DNA,
Mhm.
actually the cell is working properly. The point is that when the software does not fit anymore with the cell, it creates disease and also death.
Mhm.
When it cannot be read anymore, it creates death. So this is one also very interesting picture. So this is a cancer tumor in a mouse. So this is the picture, and you can see the tumor here.
Yeah.
And on the left side, you can see that this is the light of the biophotons. So in red, it means that here the biophotons are emitted in a very much more quantity, very higher quantity. Because when the cell is in stress, it releases the biophotons, the energy that has been stored before. So you can see that actually the biophoton is a marker of cancer.
Okay.
So the point is how the biophoton can be are interacting with the DNA. So the DNA has two base pairs, AT or GC.
So because just to make this, to build this bridge, so when we know now that cancer is more biophotons are emitted, so that we know the cell is in stress, the cell is communicating by biophotons.
Yes.
And now where is the biophoton coming from? It's the DNA. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And now we have a look about what is happening in the DNA. What has it to do with biophotons? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So actually the DNA can have two kind of base pair, AT and GC. AT has two hydrogen bonds and GC 3 hydrogen bonds. So it means that AT is weak bonds, weak force bond between A and T. The energy is less, the bond energy is less, and between G and C, the energy bond is higher. So it means that there is two kind of frequency. It is just like if you are playing music, but with two kind of notes. Weak, strong, weak, strong. So there is
sorry, Christoph, you're speaking about weak and strong force, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so some of these elements have weak force and some have strong forces, right?
Yes, because the bond between A and T is less energy. So it means less energy for opening. And when the G and C are facing, the bond is higher. So it means you need more energy for opening or vibrating.
Okay, so the amino acids, the kind of amino acids that are confronted to each other, they are the cause of weak or strong forces.
Yes. The energy bond, the energy of the bond between A and T, is less than G and C. So it means that for vibrating AT, you mean one specific frequency, which is lower than if you want to make vibrate the G and C.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to look about the software and after the genetic code, which is the hardware, if you want to make resonate the hardware, so you need different frequency. One frequency is for the weak, and one frequency is for the strong. One frequency AT, one frequency GC.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to read the DNA, for example, there is AT, GC, 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 AT. So it means, okay, if you want the software, you need to play the right music, the right notes. So it means the right frequency for activating one genetic sequence is just like a music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It is a song. No more than that. It is a song.
I think you have a slide about the DNA and RNA. So
yes. But also what I wanted to say is there is also one very important point. We can read the DNA in different sequence, but there is also a very interesting now field of research which is called epigenetic. Actually, in our DNA, only 15% of the DNA is active, and 85% of the DNA is not active.
So 15% is only active,
yes.
85% is not active. Yeah.
Is not active. And the point is, what makes this genetic sequence active or not?
Yes.
At the beginning, scientists, they called the DNA non-active DNA, they called it junk DNA, and say, oh, this is all past heredity, and now we don't need to have that, and it is not useful anymore. But in the nature, everything is useful, and now they know very well that regarding some specific environment, this genetic sequence can be activated or not. It is just like if you have a recipe book, and there is one recipe which can be read, for example, chicken curry. You can say chicken curry. So if the recipe is open, yes, you can say, okay, for this chicken curry, I need this amino acid, this amino acid, this amino acid, this sequence creates this polypeptide, this protein, and so on. But with the epigenetic, we can say, okay, this recipe I don't need anymore, and I close this recipe, and I can open the recipe of the next chapter, and which is
vegetarian chicken.
Okay, vegetarian chicken if you want. And they know very well that this activation of the sequence is due to very weak factors, not very strong factors, but very weak factors. For example, when you have a bee, the bee has the same, every bee has the same DNA. But if you give some food, some royal jelly to a bee, this bee becomes a queen. And this queen has nothing to deal with the old bee. It is much more bigger, and they can have eggs and so on. So totally different.
It depends on the food in
It
this case.
depends on the food, because the food activates this sequence. Because the food is a molecule, and the molecule has also their electromagnetic signature. For example, when you want to analyze one molecule in biology, you can put this sample into a photospectrum, and you can analyze the electromagnetic spectrum, and this frequency is ammoniac, this frequency is water, this frequency. So actually, everything is electromagnetic. And regarding the food that the bee is eating, it can activate one genetic sequence or not. But it has been proved that also the stress activates some sequence. For example, the stress can activate cancer.
So speaking about psychological stress, that we don't know what is happening, that it is making me afraid, anger, fear, like that.
Yes. This is also known about psychoimmunology, psychoneuroimmunology. Yes, of course. Because the thought, the stress, when you change the thought when you're angry, the frequency of the thought is not the same than when you are peaceful, and it will activate some with the epigenetic. It can activate some frequency or some sequence or not.
We are again at the topic of thought, yeah? So that our thought has an electromagnetic field, and this is transforming the DNA and RNA process, yeah?
Yes, yes. So this is here, for example, this sequence is reading. So at the beginning, so it is activate. So the DNA is opening, and the RNA, the messenger RNA, is activated and coding sequence.
Yep.
And create the transcript RNA, and the transcript RNA will create the polypeptide, and the polypeptide will create a protein, and so and so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So polypeptide are forming molecules, and molecules are cells, and so on. So then the process is again.
Is going. Yes, the process is going. Yes. So this is the thought and the chemistry of the thought. Okay.
Okay. So if there stress is building an electromagnetic field, and then maybe there will be problems by reading the right numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this will form an ill cell, like it can become a cancer cell. It doesn't need, but we also have an immune system that is fighting against those cells. We are always producing mistakes in our DNA, RNA transformation and transcription. But when the immune system is weak or is always fighting, then it has not enough power for this stress situation or an infection.
Yes, yes. Sometimes the stress is good because, for example, when you want to have some immunity, you need to stress and have some reaction. So it is not automatically bad but we need a balance state between stress and not, because actually there is a competition between the creation and the destruction. It is the entropy and the negentropy.
Yeah.
So we need a stable state. So previously I didn't mention, but the black matter is the destruction part, and it is 20%, and so it is the gross creation, and after the 50% is the white matter. We need a balanced state in between. Yes. So it is very important.
So where is now microwave, Wi-Fi, and also COVID virus and the vaccines? How can we put this into that picture?
Yeah. So as I said, balanced state is healthy state. And for that, we need to fit between the software and the hardware. So there is two different way to assess the point. First, we need to have a good software, and second is we need to have a good hardware. So the good software is avoiding all the electromagnetic pollution. When I'm saying electromagnetic pollution, it means, for example, when you have radioactivity, it is a very high energy electromagnetic field.
Yeah.
So we are calling that a ionized field, ionized ray. So this is so powerful that it can break and change the DNA. There is also some chemicals which can create gene mutation. It is called mutagen chemicals. Also because the electromagnetic signal the frequency is so high that it breaks and change that.
So that are facts, yeah. So this is sure. Microwaves are
microwaves are not damaging the DNA, or maybe sometimes when it is very powerful and concentrate, just like microwave weapon, because the energy here is very dense, but it is very specific. In the microwave oven, it is not like that, but it creates electromagnetic pollution, which can be changed with epigenetic.
Okay.
So this is why I'm saying that there is two levels of electromagnetic pollution. When it is sufficiently high for breaking or changing the DNA, and the second is when it is just like one information, just like Wi-Fi or 5G. When you're talking with someone about 5G, you say, yes, but the energy is very low. Yes, the energy is very low, but the frequency is high. And when the frequency is high, it can activate some part of the gene or not, and it can change stress inside you.
Oh, so when we know what frequency is necessary to open a gene, we can put this by the waves.
Yes, it is an information.
Okay.
You put new information into your body.
Yeah.
And this information is translated by the DNA.
Okay.
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 And the second point is changing the DNA, changing the software. For example, all GMO are not original software, are not original hardware, because you change the hardware. So you change the genetic sequence. So it means that if the hardware is changing, the original thought cannot be read properly. Also. So all the GMO are not good at all for that.
Maybe you can explain GMO shortly.
Genetic modified organism.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that means food, for example, that is.
For example, food. For when we are eating, there is a lot of genetic modified corn, for example, and it's really irritates the cell. It creates cancer. On the long term, it can create cancer. Why you are eating food? You are eating food for replacing the cell which is dying.
Yeah.
So it means that the food you are eating will become your new cells.
Yeah.
So if you are eating genetic modified organism, the cell you will produce in your body will be genetically modified.
Yes.
So it is not a natural sequence.
Yeah, I think it's clear. Okay.
The second point, for example, it has been shown, we explained that in our article, that the COVID-19 virus, the SARS-CoV-2 virus, the original virus, has been genetically modified. Because there is an overabundance of proton, and we can say we are almost sure that actually it is a bioweapon. So this is why it is also very dangerous, because this virus, because the proton are positive charge, so it creates attraction. This is why it can enter very easily inside the cell. Once it is inside the cell, actually it has been demonstrated that not the full part of the spike protein, but only some genetic sequence of the spike can be inserted inside the DNA. Not every time, but sometime it can happen like that. This process is called reverse transcriptase process.
Yes.
So it means that when this genetic sequence have been inserted into your cell, slowly but regularly, the DNA is producing some part of the spike. So slowly, it is poisoning the cell, and very probably it is the source of the long COVID. Because why some people have long COVID and why people don't have COVID? And they can say that Some people have been tested positively for many months.
Yeah.
They have been, because their body, their cells are producing the spike. So this is why all the GMO are very dangerous, because the GMO cannot be balanced. Because if you want to make some genome editing, it means that first you need to cut the DNA. So for cutting the DNA, you need to have some repelling force. After you want to insert the genetic sequence you want to insert. For that, you need to add some unnatural molecule you cannot find inside the natural DNA, because you need to have some glue to stick it. So you need to have some attraction force. In the case of the COVID, they put proton on the backbone, because the proton is attraction force. Proton is attracting the electron. So when you put attraction force, you need an overabundance of attraction force for attracting and the genetic sequence you want to insert. So it means that no GMO cannot be balanced, because it is not natural. And this creates a lot of problems inside. Because after, you cannot say which kind of genetic sequence cannot be read or not. And it is not fit anymore with the natural software, and the life energy cannot be read properly. If the life energy cannot enter inside the cell, actually the cell will become sick, because there is no more life energy. Or not the right life energy.
Yeah, so it is like some people got COVID, and then their immune system is fighting against those spike proteins. They could kill it, so it was over. And others, the spike protein could enter into the cells, and then the cells are producing on their own spike proteins. And this is already maybe when there's bad luck, they are producing negative.
Actually, there is different level of immunity. There is one immunity outside the cell, and there is one kind of immunity inside the cell.
Inside. Yeah.
Actually, when you have COVID, it is difficult that when you are sick, it means that the spike is already enter inside the cell.
Yeah.
The point is, if the second immune system is sufficiently strong to avoid an insertion of some part of the RNA of the spike to enter inside the DNA.
And so we have this is COVID, because what we have seen is, at the beginning there was no death excess mortality, so no excess mortality at the beginning of this pandemic. But what many people don't are aware about, that even if it is not, if we are not facing the excess death, we have the problem that this immunity gets a damage, that on the long run, many people will die and can die. So if they are not getting rid of this spike proteins and of this genetic wrong transcription, yeah?
Yes, it is slowly poisoning the body.
Okay. And the same is with, or what is the parallelly the situation with the vaccines, with the mRNA vaccines?
Actually, I didn't look very deeply about the vaccine, but as you said, it is modified RNA. And as I said, modified RNA means GMO. GMO is not balanced. So you already have the answer.
Yeah, okay. So that is all you said about GMO is fitting also to the modified RNA. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So I wanted just to make a very short wrap up. So we already discussed about what is life energy, and we said that the first energy is the thought, and the thought creates the emotion. And the totality of thought plus emotion, actually it is our ego. As we defined, I am thinking that, I feel that. This is my ego. And all this is based on our data or ignorance or knowledge. And there is another layer above all this, and which is the consciousness. So the consciousness is the non-vibrating state that is aware about the thought and the emotion which is coming. And all this, actually, this is what we are calling the life energy or prana. And we can say it is our individual soul. And if you want to know more deeper about that, I think we will discuss much more in the next Global Energy Parliament.
Thank you very much, Christophe. So it was really a pleasure to go so deep into it. As I know, you are also director of the GEP Research Center, and the GEP has a session about thought and what is a thought and what is the science about thought. Maybe you can give us a short input about that.
Yes. So the Global Energy Parliament is holding every year one session about one specific topic. And this year, the topic is the science of thought and how we can use the thought for a more human world. So how we can assess positive thought and negative thought and creating positive emotion for creating a better world. So it is very important. So actually it is a real parliament. It is an international parliament. And during 2 days, we will discuss about how the science of thought can be used in all fields of the society. So it could be in education, it could be in agriculture, it could be in every topic, just like a real government with different ministers and different portfolio. So we will discuss about the science of thought with different experts. So we will have a commission asking questions to experts. And from that, after we will deliberate and vote some resolution. And this resolution after are sent to the world, to the old government around the world. So the Global Energy Parliament holds the statue of consultant at the UN, at ECOSOC, which is Economic and Social Council. And so we hope that we can change some policy and can be here with some governments. So slowly governments are answering positively to our request, because every year we are sending that, the resolution we are voting. So everyone is welcome, because everyone around the world can be member of the parliament. So it is 2 days and it is online and it is free. So if you want to register, you're welcome. You can ask some question. You can make some submission. We can vote on, and after we can send your submission to the government. So if you want to know more about thoughts, and I think it will be a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I also will support. I'm the Human Resource Minister of the Global Energy Parliament, and I'm happy also to be there since 10 years. It is a fantastic organization, and we, as you already said, we are building solutions on these topics, and now we have a glimpse into it by your presentation. Thank you very much, and happy to meet you in our meeting in CS Medicus here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doc. It was a pleasure.